Hello, and welcome to another edition of Ben Wilkoff Debriefs the Transition. Today, I want to talk about some news that may be news to you, but was definitely news to me on Thursday of last week, and that is that Lori Marcelin is going to be leaving APS after this school year and going into full-time counseling. She said that she's been in education for 30 years and is looking to take her considerable talents elsewhere into private practice, into supporting adults in another way, and possibly children in another way. And so there are a lot of implications based upon that, but there's only one question that I wanted to debrief today, and it's this. How do we leverage the voices at the table that are no longer there? And what I mean by that, the voices at the table, Lori's voice has been at the table since I joined APS, which is not clearly all that long ago, but her voice has been in my head and at the table advocating for a very specific and I think fairly innovative vision of teaching and learning in APS, and that voice will no longer be present. And so how do you leverage that voice in your head, in your decision making, in your thinking? How do you leverage that voice best when you're talking with a teacher, or when you're working with a school leader, or when you're working with John Youngquist? How do you leverage the things that people have taught you? And this speaks to just experience overall. How is it that you can leverage those voices that are no longer there physically, but that can be there for you because you know them and you have learned from them? And so that's what I've been really trying to grapple with, is that there are a lot of wonderful statements that could be said and should be said, but they won't be, because that person is no longer there. And so how do you conjure up, how do you leverage, how do you learn from everything that they have taught you and move forward by embodying that voice and raising up the things that you know would be raised if they were still there? And so I guess that's the question that I would have for you, for people that have left in the past, or that you have worked with but no longer work with as closely. How do you use their voice in the conversation? I've seen this happen a couple of different times across the team, where Joe Dillon will be invoked, and like the voice of Joe Dillon and like the words that he would have brought to the table are sort of suggested. And because you knew him a lot better than I did, I hear him come through. Even though he's not in the room, he's in the room. And so how do we continue to leverage these people, these voices at the table? That's something I'd love to think through this week as we continue our work of transitions. How do we leverage all of the voices, all of the experiences that we have had in order to create a better team? I hope you have a great day of teaching, learning, leading, and creating today. Have a good one.